And a smoker, that's Ronnie Osmer in the 99, a second car for Thomas Prater, and that brings out our first caution. And then we've got more problems in turn number 4. Andy Seiss has gone around in the 02 car.
That's the 52 of Will Rogers right there in front of your screen. The Dryden car, that's the same car that Austin won the championship with last year.
Oh, and he was having such a good run. He had moved up about 15 spots. Cody Robaugh in the number 7 Grant County Mulch car as well. There's the 99. Osmer we saw first. There's Robaugh rolling on pit road. There's Seiss, who had that runner-up finish at Talladega last year. And then Will Rogers in the Dryden Ford for Ken Schrader Racing. Also significant damage as Robaugh drives straight back to the garage.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether those cars got in the oil from the 99 or whether they maybe somebody jumped out of the gas to avoid the 99. Let's see what happens here. That's the leaders going by that 99. You see the 27 of Travis Braden go down on the inside.
There's Robaugh up above him, and he gets by. And that 52 car.
Andy Seiss actually looks like he was coming down to try to get back in line on the bottom, and they may have made contact there. That's where they've already got into each other.
So something happened after they got by the 99.
Yeah, and I think Will Rogers in the 52 was just an innocent victim there with nowhere to go.
2 cars going for the same real estate.
Let's see if we can see anything on board with Gus Dean.
Watch Andy Seiss in the 02 as they get by this 99 car.
There you go. There's the first contact.
Yeah, it didn't look like Andy knew that the car was beneath him. Kept coming down. They made contact.
We'll have to check the left and right front for Gus Dean, too. He might have taken a little bit. This is Travis Braden, the 27 we saw had to dodge that slow car.
You can't go below the double yellow line to improve your position, but you certainly can to avoid. Look at the damaged left front tire, tore that fender off that 32 Gree car. Ooh.
And a big crash, spinning, turning, the 33 of Daniel Saznitz. Caution number 3 at Daytona.
Big impact.
Yeah, Daniel was running in the 26th position. Here's the 22 also. Ed Pompa. Ed was running back in 30th.
Pompa driving for Andy Hillenberg's team with owner's points from Chad Bryant, the former Cunningham team.
There's a second generation ARCA racer, Andrew Belmont. His dad Andy had so much success here in the series years ago. First start here at Daytona for Andrew with some damage.
And there's Pompa driving the 22 car.
There's Andrew. Belmont driving away. Doesn't appear to be a great deal of damage to that mod space car.
So Creed was the leader with Gregson, Braden, Zane Smith, and Sean Corr.
Creed and Gregson worked so well together to get out that big lead, but now remember they're going to be split up because when they have this restart they're going to start side by side.
So who leads may be determined by Travis Braden and Zane Smith.
Yeah, and if I'm Creed, I know Zane Smith is my teammate, so I'm going to restart this race from the outside because I know I have my teammate Zane Smith in the 41 pushing me.
And there's the 33 go around. Daniel Saznitz making his first ARCA start. He's a former Richard Petty driving experience instructor who's getting an opportunity here in the second car for Wintron Racing.
He's a teammate to Gus Dean. See a lot of damage to the front of that car. Ed Pompa crawls out of the 22. One of Andy Hillenberg's entries.
You know, the trial was not that wide at Daytona, so it seems like every year we see large wrecks, and most times it's just guys run out of space.
Yeah, there's Daniel Saznitz getting out of his car. That's a good sign right there.
We never saw a great look at it, but it looked like a pretty heavy impact. So good to see that Daniel Saznitz is out, and let's go back and try to find out what happened.
Looks like they just get seized up. Looks like the 63 of Dave Mater III gets into the back of the 33 and turns him around. That's what's going to send him to the outside wall. They just kind of got bottled up a little bit on the inside, it looked like. And the farther back you go, the less time you have to react.
On board with Natalie Decker.
Whoa, checked up.
Amazing. What a great job she did. You could hear her get out of the throttle. She had hardly any time to react.
That's impressive.
It certainly was. Pretty hard contact with the outside safer barrier for Saxon.
And what we saw from Natalie Decker, who's had a fast car, that's the detriment. That's one of the things that happens when you fall further back in the field. Running in the 20s, she's 22nd right now.
Yeah, these guys were trying to avoid her as they got by the incident. You see a lot of damage to Ed Pompa's car as he makes contact with Andrew Belmont.
Seems like the odds of a caution are fairly strong.
Whoa, right there.
Whoa, Gus Dean trying to hang on to it.
That's going to split this pack up a little bit. You see Riley Herbst going by on the inside. Quinn Houff now on the outside. That's Ferrier in the 46 car. That may cost this group the draft.
They've got some work to do to catch up to the lead pack.
Well, there we go.
Huge wreck.
Core, Houff, Lamastus, and Doza all involved. Semi-big one here at Daytona. Caution number 4.
The 98 of Houff just didn't give him enough room.
Guys, we saw that coming from miles away.
Yeah, three-quarters of a lap before that anyway. It's going to be a break for Natalie Decker, but what a tough break for Brian Doza. He was doing a nice job staying up there running in the lead pack.
And I might have said Core, but that was John Ferrier, his teammate, that was involved there. Core is still the leader, and he's fine. So that's Ferrier that was involved in the 46 for Empire Racing. That's Doza there in the OB Builders Chevrolet. There's the 46. That's Ferrier.
Been so impressed with the resilience of these 5-star bodies, these composite bodies.
They can only take so much.
Yeah, there's been some hard hits here. You see the damage to Chad Bryant's number 77, driven by Bo Lamastus. See the right side damage.
Tough ending for them.
Yeah.
He finished 6th here a couple of years ago at Daytona. Let's go back and see how this started. We'd earlier seen a big wiggle for Gus Dean.
There's going to be contact. Gus is going to make contact with the 8 right there. They make contact, and that slows the entire field up now. See, now that puts them 3 wide. And as we did, they're going to go by the start-finish line, and then we get down to turn number 1. The 98 of Houff is trying to go around the outside of Dean in the 32, and we get down to the corner, and he just doesn't give him any room. He turns in the corner like he's not there and squeezes him, and that's what causes this melee. Tom Hessert very fortunate, along with Michael Self, to get by on the inside.
So I think Gus Dean got out of that. He's still shown in 10th position.
There's another view of that initial contact between Gus Dean and the 8 of Chase Purdy. Houff does a nice job avoiding the 32 of Dean right there, but they get down in the corner. Watch him squeeze right here, guys.
Just not enough room. And once the cars get attached, it's over.
See Leilani, watch her in the green car. She's going to make evasive action. You see the green and white car go by Michael Self. That was Tom Hessert above Michael Self. Leilani does a nice job driving by before they come down off the banks. Bobby Gerhardt getting through.
And here's Gus Dean's on board, and watch him squeeze through this. More damage possibly now to the right front of his car.
Thomas Prater getting by on the outside with that 9 car.
So this works out for some that have been quick, like Zane Smith, who's lost all kinds of track position. Maybe he still has life running in 17th.
Yeah, Tom Hessert, Michael Self, who would drop back a little ways. Now they're back up in the top 15. Natalie Decker is able to make a pit stop and work on her car. Look at all the damage to that 77 of Bo Lamastus.
Pit road is closed, but significant damage for Lamastus, so he'll come in. Caution.
Wonder if he was one of the guys that only made that one pit stop early on Now we're hearing that maybe he made some contact with the outside safer barrier. There's Michael Self going by him.
Possibly some oil. Looks like
because Michael Self was all up against the wall, and then Tony came along and made some contact with the wall.
There was a big slide. Let's see what we can see again. Oh, he slid up into Michael Self. So Marakovic got up into Self, who then hung on to it, and then Marakovic slid up a little higher.
Almost looked like a right front tire or something went down quick.
Topside with a good push from Purdy, and they're wrecking. Holmes is going around and upside down. Zane Smith around. A big one here at Daytona, but keep in mind, this is not the finish of this race. We will see a one-lap shootout to determine this one. So another restart coming. And that's Holmes on his side. Thompson also comes to a stop, and multiple cars involved here on the final lap at Daytona.
There's the 32 of Gus Dean.
He survived the early contact, a couple of more near misses with contact. His day looks like it will come to a close, and we will have a red flag.
We could feel the energy building from up here.
Yeah, and you just fight for space, and you get to the last lap, and you know if you give up 3 or 4 feet, then you're probably not going to get it back.
There's Mark Thompson, who's having such a good run. We see him moving around in the car.
Winning that down.
I want to see Bret Holmes, who was on his side. There's Bret moving around. That's Gus Dean, I'm sorry. That's Gus Dean. He says he's okay.
He gave that car a great ride after all that damage he got earlier in the race.
And through all of that, Sean Corr is shown in second position. Go back and look at how all of this got started. Look at the 23 on the bottom side of Holmes.
See that we've got the 18 pushing the 32, and the 32's trying to help the 23, but he catches him in the right rear corner, and that turns him sideways. And I think he launched off the front of the 66 of Mark Thompson.
If it wouldn't have been for that incident, the outside line definitely would have had a shot at the win.
And I think you guys might be right. The Sean Corr is being shown on our scoring monitor in second, and he's lined up second under this red flag.
See, look at the momentum the outside lane had before that.
I'm not sure, though. It depends on.
Remember, it's not instantaneous. I mean, it's not. You know, the caution flag's going to come out as soon as they can, because they know the damage is severe enough that we need a caution flag. As you see Bret Holmes sliding down driver's side.
That's going to be close, because Corr definitely had the momentum, and it was on his way. From that angle, it looks like he is ahead of.
It does.
I think
Gregson.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure does.
And then Purdy is up there. And Zane Smith almost was ahead of it, and he got hit on the rear quarter.
Yeah, Dave Mader III made hard contact with Zane Smith. Dave Mader was doing a nice job. We haven't talked a whole lot about him. He's a former winner here in the series back in, what, 91?
Correct.
He won a race at Michigan. He was a Snowball Derby winner in 1978.
On board with Gus Dean.
He was trying to pedal the throttle and try to get out from that situation.
Riley Herbst just had a few close calls tonight.
Both those cars in front of him involved in the incident. Let's see how Riley gets through here.
Looks like he takes a wild ride through the grass.
He dodged 2 of them. Didn't spend too much time on the grass, though.
Did a great job. This is going to be a great view right here. Look at everybody going down to the grass. That's Thomas Prater, that yellow and black car that went through the grass a little bit, and then we saw Riley Herbst go through the grass.
Prater came out of that scored in the 6th position.
Yeah, you see Riley Herbst is pushing the 32. Really, Gus Dean, we heard him trying to get out of the throttle, but he's being pushed from behind. Just made contact with the wrong spot on that 32. Look how far underneath the 32, the 23 that Gus Dean goes. Michael Self going through there. There's Tom Hessert, the 55, going through there. There's the contact from Dave Mader.
Big impact.
was fastest in practice here on Thursday.
Yeah.
He was really enjoying his weekend.
I'm not sure there was a happier person in the garage area than Dave Mader.
So this is all in the back stretch going in, heading towards turn 3. Look at the visual of those sparks.
It's amazing pictures.
And there's the aftermath of the 23 for Bret Holmes. So Holmes, Dean, Smith, Mader, and Thompson. Nose to tail, bumper to bumper. Core in front, wiggles a bit. Core on the back stretch. Coming right back is Sheldon Creed. They're still side by side going into 3.
Let's see who gets the advantage going in 3.
Creed on the bottom side.
Big
Purdy is going around, hard into the wall. Car goes with him. Caution, and we'll try again.
Michael Self, Willie Mullins are the first 2 cars to get through there.
Riley Herbst also involved.
A lot of cars involved in that incident. There's Travis Braden. Look at all the damage to that 27 car.
Oh my, we are going to get a wild card winner here in Daytona. With the leaders coming together with 1 turn to go.
That's the onboard from Travis Braden's number 27, the Journal Tire onboard.
We've talked about it all day. It's so tough to go bumper to bumper for a whole lap here, and what you just saw in turn 3 was the consequences of that.
There's Brad Smith right there. That's Jerry DeWeert on the other side of him.
And the idea is that it's okay on the straightaways, but you want to get off the bumper in the corners. But last lap, nobody's going to get off the bumper. Creed on the bottom, Core on the top.
Nobody to blame here. These guys are just doing all they can do to be pushed. You see the 28 get pushed sideways, and then the 43 of Core and the 8 of Chase Purdy make contact. The 43 takes the 27 up into the outside wall. You see Michael Self go by relatively unscathed from this incident anyway.
Chase Purdy got tight on the bottom. You could see he didn't have any air on his nose, and he just couldn't keep it down there and got into the outside lane.
He didn't have any air on his nose because his nose was up underneath the back of the 28 car.
And you have to do that if you want to win the race, but you can see it here.
This is on the middle of the backstretch.
Bumper to bumper, gets tight.
You can see how much higher his nose was there with no air on it.
And once cars get together, it's over.
Thomas Prater up higher as the 06 and the 9. There's Brad Smith making contact with the 06. There's Riley Herbst, the NASCAR on the right.
I think we're going to need to count the cars that haven't made contact.
Yeah, exactly. There's Travis Braden's on board. Nowhere to go. Absolutely nowhere to go.
On board with Natalie Decker.
She gets a good job. I'm sure Eddie DeHaan, her spotter's talking her through this. She gets through on the bottom now. Looks like the track's blocked in front of her. Brad Smith's going to go down there, pass her, and hit somebody.
She still did a good job getting through.
What an amazing job she did getting through that. Looks like maybe at the very instant she might have got hit from behind.
So this is Riley Herbst on board with his. He's had one of many that's had an eventful night. Just about everyone has.
I think he was going to be okay till Brad Smith ran into the 06.
This might give us a better look at Sheldon Creed, who almost got out, tried to hang on to the spin, and then I presume just went through the grass.
Yeah, spins down through the grass. If he kept that car going, though, and kept it rolling, and is going to restart in the 4th position, then he still has a shot at this.
This might give us a better look at Sheldon Creed in the 28 United Rentals car. And gets it turned back around and keeps it straight, just barely on the grass.
Does not even
wiggle.
spin. He may even get to line up in front of Noah Gragson. Right now, our scoring monitor shows Noah Gragson. Depends if ARCA deems that he was maintaining speed and when the caution flag came out. Look at the damage. The 06 into the windshield of Riley Herbst.
As a former car owner, how much are you thinking when you see these? How expensive
just
this is?
Dollar signs.
Oh.
Just dollar signs. I mean, after the fact, you think about trying to get that trophy first.
Yeah. And then second, you're making sure that the driver is safe.
Exactly.
But after that, it's, oh, this is gonna cost us a lot.